guys, it's Kara. Welcome to the show. We have got a yummy little treat for you. With the holidays coming, it is inevitable that you will be baking something during the holidays. So I decided that we were going to whip up some sugar cookies. It's almost Halloween now. If you are watching this video, Halloween 2011, and I thought we would make some pumpkin cookies with some orange icing. So you get to watch us do that. Now here's what we need. This is a great sugar cookie cutout recipe. This was my grandmother's. She was a fabulous cook and I do miss those. So it's time to make your own recipes and start your own traditions with your family. Here's what you need to start. We need 1.5 sticks of butter. Now I do a smidge over on everything, so I've got 1.5 with a smidge more of butter. We're going to melt this. We're going to pop this in the holder in a minute and melt it. You need a teaspoon measuring. You're going to have salt, which you're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon, a smidge more of salt. You're going to do 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 eggs. You've got a 1/4 cup brown sugar. I know, trust me. A 1/4 cup brown sugar, 1 cup of white sugar, and 2.5 cups of flour. That's it. Simple staple stuff that you have at your house. Now, I'm going to pop this right in my holder, and you know that I do everything in the bag holder. And I'll tell you again, the bag holder turns any gallon bag into a bowl so that I virtually have no mess, no cleanup, and I swear to you, you can make it in half the time. Try it. Don't buy the bag holder until you've tried it, and you will see that everything from meatloaf to manicotti and everything that's sweet, you can make in here in half the time with no cleanup. Now let me pop this in the microwave and we'll be right back. Now we want the butter softened, not fully melted. So some of it's melted, but it's still soft enough that I'll be able to mash it together. We're going to start with the wet ingredients and then I add the dry. You can choose to do whichever you want, but you can do it all at once. You don't need to mix and sift and do the dry and then add the wet. We don't have time for that, and this recipe does not need that much attention. So we've got our baking powder. We're going to do a teaspoon of that, and let me get a little more. This recipe, you do have to be somewhat precise, but it's not the end of the world if you end up with a little more. This is a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a little 1/2 teaspoon. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And this is a really fast, and you can see by my workstation, I create a workstation no matter what it is. I use these little cheap placemats that I just put everything on, whether you're using a bag holder or a bowl. It makes cleanup so simple. All right, let's do our brown sugar. We're going to do a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And again, I love doing everything in a bag because I can measure it, I can mash it, and I never have to really touch it. So we are going to do a 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. And this is a little more than I need, so let's go ahead and take some out. This you don't want to go over. There we go. I have to tell you why I'm making this. Today is the first day that I can actually say, hey, join us at facebook.com/TLFamily. And, yes, drumroll. Our blog has launched. It's todaysliving.net. Yes, .net, not .com. So please join us. You can see recipes. You can see things that I don't actually video. You can see about my life. So we've got 1 cup of sugar. And again, I know that you can see all I'm going to have to do is zip these up and store it. There's no mess here. Now we're doing 2.5 cups of flour. But the blog launched last night at midnight. I've had a great guy helping me with it. Learned a ton, not nearly as easy as it looks. But it's Today's Family. Please, if you see the video and you stop on over to the blog, comment, let me know. It makes me feel really good. So we've got 2 cups there, and then we've got another 1/2 cup that we need to worry about. And I'll show you why I'm going to show you this really quick. I know you've got things to do, but hey. Whether you buy the bag holder or not, please buy the bag holder. It's awesome. But storing things in bags is a cinch because when you need to press it or scoop it, do you see how I can do this? I can pull it, I can make it even, I can pour it right back in here. It's got basically a wide mouth. I'm looking for a 1/2 cup here. Good. So it makes baking and storing easy. But we're not here just for the bag holder. Everything has been added. We will pop the bag right out. Now let me tell you too, this is a half of an order. Or half of an order. I've worked in restaurants way too long. This is a half of the recipe. And that's only because I'm only making 35 to 36 cookies, depending on how big they make and how much dough I eat. So if you want to double batch it, double it. If you want to make twice the batches, this can freeze for up to 30 days. So it's a great make-ahead recipe that you can make now and take out during the Thanksgiving as well. It's really, really simple. So let's mix this up, and you can see how easy this is to mix. What we have to do once we're done mixing is we're going to pop it in the fridge because we're going to roll it out. Do you see how easy this is to mix up? You see here? Guess what? While I'm talking, and I'm not going to take too much of your time, you will be able to see how this dough forms perfectly right here. No mixer, just my hands, just the gift that God gave me, and it starts to mix up perfectly. See if I can say that. But going back to the blog, Facebook.com/TLFamily, Facebook.com/bagholder. You can find us. If you like this video, subscribe. What we're going to do is I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to show it to you though. I'm leaving you here. I'm kind of going on, dragging you along because I want you to see how easy it is and how well blended. But when we're done with this, I'm going to pop this in the fridge. Like I said, store it for about an hour just so it can get cool and I can roll it out. And then we're going to roll them out, bake them, and ice them. So I'm going to give you a really good recipe at the end of this video of icing. Okay, I'm going to show you. You see that? Completely mixed. Nothing. You see that? Perfect. Ready to go in the fridge to harden so I can make some yummy sugar cookies. So, join me in a minute. As the cookies are in the fridge getting firm, we're going to go ahead and make the icing. We're doing orange icing because it is Halloween. As you can see, another little thing that we did back here, pumpkins are orange. So we need to add food coloring to make the orange because I don't have it. We're going to do 5 or 6 drops of red, 5 or 6 drops of yellow. Let's see what happens. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a really simple recipe. All you need is powdered sugar, milk, and if you're coloring it, food coloring. All right, let's see. This looks like it might work. I'm going to, yeah, this looks like it's going to work perfectly because we're going to put the powdered sugar in here. Now, this is, again, a half a batch. So we're going to do about a cup of powdered sugar and 2 tablespoons of milk. You may have to add more milk. You're basically going to create it. So if you have 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons, 2 to 3 tablespoons, 2 cups powdered sugar, 4 to 5, just kind of go up a little bit each time. And no matter what, it's fabulous because it's powdered sugar. So it's a trial and error, just depending on how much icing you need. But I do 1 cup with 2 tablespoons. It always seems to work out perfectly for me where I don't have to add anything. But it really just also depends on your thickness. So there's 1. Do this one. Perfect. And let's see if this has mixed together nicely. I can already see the oranges starting to take shape. Love, love, love it. Oh, can you see that? Can you see? It did not. I was a little concerned when I was mixing it in the bag, and you know, my 7-year-old said I had to say, look, you know, what colors make orange? I know, really, really bad. And my 7-year-old was the one that told me, but look at that. Tell me that isn't perfect pumpkin. But he's the one that told me that it makes perfect sense and a perfect color every time. There's a little area at the corner that we'll have to blend out, but you know what? That's no big deal. Because what we're going to do with this is, you know, I'm doing it in the bag. We're basically going to do a snip the tip method which means that when the I'm going to leave this out for a little bit, kind of let it get room temperature, easier to maneuver, and then we're going to take the tip of this bag and basically ice each of the cookies so that I don't have to mess with them or get it on my hands or waste any. That's why this 1 cup works perfectly. So let's see here. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Do you see how pretty that is? All right, we're still waiting for the cookies. We'll see you in a bit. Our dough is done. We've got it in the fridge and it is firm, firm, firm. So I took it out of the fridge. Now I let it sit for about 5 minutes so I can get it softened. And let me just say, if we were testing cookie dough raw, this is the bomb. Now what we're doing is I'm going to break it apart into 2 sections. I've got flour on my workspace. Now you don't want so much flour that you lose the flavor of the sugar, because we certainly don't want that. But you do need enough so that it doesn't stick to whatever surface you are doing it on. Now you can also do it on wax paper if you have a counter and you don't have an easy movable surface. We've got a rolling pin. I'm using a wood one. I've already got flour on it. Basically, I'm going to use my hands. It's also the warmth of my hands to press it out so that I can get it ready to go for the rolling pin. And here we go. This is about the only time I use my muscles. So, rolling, rolling, rolling. Get them doggies rolling. We just keep rolling it out. You want it to be about 1/4 of an inch thick, not too thin, because you don't want them to break apart as you pick them up, and not too thick that they don't cook and they're too doughy. So, this is pretty perfect. Now we're doing little pumpkins. We're going to push them out. Here we go. And just put them right next to each other. Start from the top, work your way down to the bottom. And we will be able to do this. Then you want to get a spatula to be able to get the dough up easily. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel the dough away from the pumpkins that I've already cut. That way there will be no problem. I won't accidentally break them. See, I've got a little spot there that I obviously did not flour properly. We'll do a spatula. And let's go ahead and put them on the cookie sheet. Now we are going to bake these at 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes. Very simple. Now you want to keep an eye on them. I like cookies that are a little crisp. But you want to make sure that you fit it. If you like it doughy, you want to go on the 10 minutes. See how cute? Yay! You want to go towards the 9 to 10 minute. If you like them crisp like I do, you're going to cook them for about 12 minutes. So we'll see you as soon as they come out of the oven. If you get it to where the dough starts to stick, like you didn't add enough flour, or it starts to get too soft, just use the back side of your spatula and scrape it off and clean it, and then start over. The cookies are done. I have already iced them. I used our bag of icing. I just snipped the tip and poured it right on. And because it's creamy and warm, you can just put it through the center and then it just spreads apart. You can see how these are still working. I just did this. I actually forgot to turn the camera on. So you guys are getting the finished product because I'm already eating this one. And the kids are going crazy with the others. But this is it. You just use the icing that we made. We showed you how to do that earlier. You can spread it on, do all different colors. I could have done green to get the stem here. You can see how I did sprinkles with these. These are really tasty. Let me pull one out. And they're so chewy. Let me get that. Oh, let me lick that icing. You certainly don't want it to mess up. But that's it. So, guys, thanks for joining us. I hope you love this sugar cookie recipe as much as I do. It has been passed down from my grandmother and her grandmother. So you will love it, and it is tried and true. Visit us at facebook.com/TLFamily and our new blog at todaysliving.net, www.todaysliving.net. See you soon.